podcast again. Again, I'll repeat myself an apology for that, but I hope I'll be able to uh, work on that part to delete it off. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. Again, uh, you're welcome to join me this evening. And as I said earlier, when I was muted, I didn't realize I was muted. A lot has happened in the political space these past few weeks. The Ukraine US debacle, the White House drama that we see, and now Europe steps in. And I want to narrow it down to Africa, but Nigeria in particular. We're seeing how issues of mineral resources is playing out in this deal itself, and I keep asking myself, how is it like in the matter of Africa if we can ever break away from this shackle in respect to minerals this. But what stands out to me is Zelensky's approach. Yes, a lot of people have come out to condemn the approach taken by the United States. Donald Trump, to be more particular, it's like ambushing him. But the approach taken by Zelensky is one thing that stands out. It's one thing we need to highlight, particularly us Africans, Nigerians, and our leaders. How no matter what it is, Zelensky stood his ground. Now, when I say drama that has been acted behind the curtain and is playing out, that is neither here nor there. But the fact remains that there is a war going on in Ukraine between Ukraine and Russia. The fact remains that the war was started by what? By Russia. We can't deny that. That is undeniable. It's on record. The fact also remains that Ukraine has natural mineral resources that Russia and America are interested, and even some Europe also interested in it. Everybody wants to have their own share of cake. But Zelensky's position in putting his people first, despite the fact that Donald Trump made the claim that he's allowing his people to die or to be killed, that definitely that is a false narrative he's pushing out there, typical of Americans. Apologies for that if it offends any one of you. It's the fact that the man stood his ground, putting his people first. What is the guarantee? They want something in return. So I'm narrowing it down to Africa and our leaders, particularly Nigeria. It shows the fact that irrespective of how we see him, the man has stood a position of integrity, putting his people first, something our own leaders lack. Because why? All they ever think about is what is themselves. It doesn't matter what deal Zelensky slash Ukraine agreed with the US and Europe at the end of the day. He have the interest of his people at heart. He has faced various criticisms over this issue. He did not allow himself to be cowed or bullied into a corner as African leaders, Nigerians in particular, Nigerian leaders in Nigeria in particular. And when Starmer made the statement that economic security is national security, it jumped at me. That statement jumped at me because this was not initially the topic. I had to change it to highlight the points that some people I know, someone I know often says that talks about security, our borders and this. Our borders are important. But economic security, whichever way you want to define it or see it, it's very important. Economic security is what is national security. The economic situation in Nigeria today is what? It's rubbish. Pardon me for using that word. So imagine me saying I want to install a CCTV camera in my house. I've not been able to have a 3 square meal a day. I can't pay my kids' school fees. I don't even have a job. Why will I be thinking? Or how will I think of security? First, I have to what? Have a secured job. Even if not secured as in the sense of 100% secured, I need a job. Then I can now think of my security around me. And so this is important where, I said I'm going to make a statement that my fellow Black men and women, Black men in particular, may find offensive. That in weighing into that Zelensky and Donald Trump issue, we don't have any moral ground, particularly African leaders, to weigh into it. To even go as far as to what? To condemn Zelensky for the position for standing up to what? Up to Donald Trump. So the issue is not Donald Trump. Let me just make this clear. The purpose of this broadcast is Zelensky putting his people first. Something African leaders have never done and probably don't have the capacity to do. The drama happening in the House of Senate there in Lagos State, where the speaker was removed and another speaker, and he came back boastfully said he will be reinstated, and he was reinstated. And you know why? The reason why is that if you look at the thumbnail says exogerians. That is the thumbnail. Esogerians, I beg your pardon. Esogerians. That is the thumbnail. What does that mean? It highlights the story of Esau, who sold his birthright because of what? Because of food, hunger. And that is what is happening to us in Africa. Yes, hunger is in the land of plenty. And until we take a position like Zelensky, even though there was a war in Ukraine, whereby he could sign any deal to end that war, he just doesn't want to sign any deal to just end the war. He wants to sign a deal that would favor what? Favor Ukraine at large. But our leaders, in fact, I said I'm not going to be blaming our leaders again. The citizens, we the citizens, myself inclusive, because of hunger, we don't think straight again. We sell ourselves, we sell our soul to these leaders. We fail to stand up for ourselves. Hence the topic, Esogerians, who sold his birthright for what? For a morsel, for a bread, a porridge, for a bowl of a porridge. Anyone can get hungry, myself inclusive. But does that mean that because we are hungry, we can't say no to something? We look at only the present and not the future. And the consequences of him selling his birthright, those who are familiar with the Bible, the literature book, as I always call it, we understand that the consequences before he could regain it back, that is, if he ever did, is not something to write home about. And until Nigerians and Africa in general, we start to deal with this Esogerians mentality and start to work on this Esogerians mentality, where because of hunger, we sell our soul, our conscience, our birthright, what rightfully belongs to us, we sell it to the leaders. The wealth of the nation rightly belongs to what? To everyone, not to certain individuals. So, knowing fully well that this wealth of the nation belongs to every one of us, why would they come and sell us what belongs to us? And even after we sell that our birthright, we don't get anything at all at the end of the day. And that is the mentality of those who possess that Isogerians mentality do. And it's going to happen soon. God forbid it happens again. The election is coming. And that is what happened in the Lagos State House of Assembly. It's power show. Obasa have people following him, supporting him, whom he must have given money to or bribed their conscience or bribed their soul. Also, the president allegedly also have influence also in the issue that is going on in Lagos State, because the claim is he built Lagos State, they own Lagos State, etc. and etc. But that is either here or there. It's about us, the citizen. The focus will be on us, the citizen, of how we learn to say no. We shouldn't say because of hunger. We should not say because of hunger, we cannot say no when these individuals come to us to what? Telling us what is not in the book. The wealth of the nation belongs to every one of us. Even if Donald Trump is being blamed or is selfish, his approach towards Ukrainian this thing, whether it's for business or for the country, at least to an extent, we will give him a leeway that he's still looking out for the Americans, wants to strike a deal with what? With Zelensky, where the mineral resources will benefit Americans, even though we know it's not necessarily for Americans, for some of the rich people who wants to what, who are playing the game with him. What have we, those of us who are Africans, condemning particularly Zelensky, condemning including Donald Trump, what have our leaders done so far to put the interests of the nation and the citizen in front of them? Tomorrow, they will go to London House to go and give their campaign speech. Recently, Obi said he has made up his mind. We never heard from him again. I thought when he said he has made up his mind, I personally thought he's going to lead the revolution. But lo and behold, the guy was there attending to IBB's book launch. That was the kind of mind he made up. Well, good luck to him. I wish him all the best. But when we put this issue into perspective or into context, a lesson for us African Nigerian citizens, a lesson for our leaders, if only we will ever learn. To see how that Zelensky behaved, to see how he carried himself, to see how he put the Ukrainians and Ukraine in the forefront, whatever deal he will sign. The deals that have been signed by Nigerian leaders over the past in respect of our resources, what benefit has it yielded to us today? If you, the citizens, can come out and say, what benefit has the deal that our leaders have signed with foreign governments, what benefit has it yielded to us, the citizens, today? What are we benefiting from it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We've benefited nothing from the deals they've signed over the years. Oil, bitumen, gold, you can name it. The citizens today, most cannot afford 3 square meal. How many people have jobs? And we live in the land of what? Of plenty. So you can see why they will never have an issue of war with us, because they already have what they want, what they needed. They already gotten it. And no leader that have come so far to say, I'm going to stand up against these people and put my people first and review every deal that past leaders have ever signed in the matter of what our natural resources. Now, there's nothing wrong in signing deals. But if the deal is not going to benefit me or benefit my people, what is the point of signing that deal? Rather, we should just consider ourselves and say, let's return back to slavery. Because that's what it is. Every one of them have signed a deal in the matter of our natural resources. Which leader have stood up to say, no, we need to review all these deals. We need to know exactly what was signed. We need to know what is going on with our natural resources. None. And with the citizens, because of our authoritarian mentality, all we think is our stomach. That's all we listen. I like food. People who know me knows that I like food. So nobody who doesn't like food in this. But at the same time, liking something doesn't mean we cannot say no when it comes to a matter of life and death, when it puts other people's life at risk, at danger. So where do we go from here? How do we're calling for revolution. Revolution will never work. Yes, I have also cried for revolution will never work if we don't change our orientation, our mentality. And the revolution I call for is to return back to the Constitution, and which a lot of people have kicked against, that the Constitution is our problem. That is a lie from the pit of hell. The Constitution, in returning to it, is what is our solution. And you know what I'm going to say next? Those who knows me knows me. You go to section 60, 69, and 110 of the Constitution. When we stop to think about this authoritarian mentality and start to apply the principles of the Constitution, citizens holding our leaders accountable. And we're going to talk about that next when I'm talking on this Natasha Akpabio's broadcast saga going up. That will probably be tomorrow. We'll highlight it. I'll further highlight on that in the matter of what going backward to the Constitution, because a lot of people have said some negative things about Natasha Uduaga Akpoti or Akpoti Uduaga, and they got it wrong, completely wrong. And we'll cover that by God's grace. I'll cover that tomorrow. So Zelensky is a leader that all African leaders should emulate. There's war in the country. He has never backed out. A lot of Ukrainians are scattered all around Europe. Even though some of them are in America. He has never, ever backed out. And his behavior in the White House, I, for one, I commend him. Never allow anyone to bully him. Now, he may go back and have a rethink. That's okay. But at that moment, he stood his ground. Yes, deals will be struck. It happens. You can't take it away. Leaders do it. We strike a deal. But a deal that will not favor you and your people, why strike that deal? A deal that has to do with my only selfish interest, which our leaders have shown over time, have displayed over time, it's not what a deal. What is that deal for? What is it for? What is it about? Even the one of the greatest natural resources that I think, that I know, not that I think, that I know Nigeria have, which is the sun, greater than what than even the oil we're talking about, that we can use for what? For solar energy, that the government can assist the citizens, is wasted. We're wasting it. I mean, I speak from experience, having installed one, the benefits of it. In Europe, the government give grants to those who wants to install solar system to the citizens. Where there is no sun, where there is not much sun, the government still promote solar energy, solar system. Where we have the sun in abundance, we waste it just the same way we flare gas into the air. Zelensky, can our leaders emulate Zelensky? Say no. Which leader will come up today to review all the deals that have taken place in the past, that have put us into this problem, this useless problem that we have today, that makes many Nigerians brains leave the country? Which leader will review it? All we're doing is we are criticizing Donald Trump, we are criticizing Zelensky, we are criticizing for crying out loud. If you are in the position of Zelensky, what will you do? Those that knows it all. Will you put yourself and your people first? Zelensky wants the war to end. I don't think any leader, except Putin doesn't want the war to end. He keep bombing the Ukraine, but he wants the war to end. But on what ground? So if we take a step back and think, Africa, Nigeria should be one of the best country in the world where people wants to go to, wants to go to, or to die to want to go to, because of what we have. But today, no. Because why? Because the economy is in shambles. And because the economy is in shambles, this has affected the security of the country as well too. So economic security, whichever way you want to interpret it, is national security. So if we focus on our economy, those stupid deals that have been signed by taking our natural resources away from us and getting nothing in return, don't blame anybody. Our leaders signed these deals. They can't deny it. Don't blame the white man. Don't ever do that too. Because they put this deal before our leaders and they choose to sign it. They decided to sign it without having you and I in touch. And rather than you and I to kick against this thing based on the constitution that we have in front of us, section 68, 69, and 110, that this citizen have to exploit, to invoke. No, we refuse to invoke. Rather, we're expecting some miracles to come from God in heaven. God doesn't work like that, please. I can put this at least. I know God to that extent that it doesn't work miracles that way. No. We have to meet him halfway. When we meet him halfway, which is us doing the rightful thing, by what? By returning back to that constitution that many think is our problem, or allege that it is our problem. Some don't even allege it, they said it is our problem. But it's not. No evidence that suggests that, because if you doubt it, or if you disagree with me, provide the evidence in there that says the constitution is our problem. No constitution is perfect. Every constitution is subject to review. So that can be our problem. If we notice a problem in the constitution, the thing to do is what? Is to raise it up and have it amended. Debate it, argue it, everything, look at it from and have it amended so that things will get better. That is the reason for a constitution. So we cannot say the constitution is our problem. No, it's not. The problem is because of this Isogerian mentality that we have. Isogerian, the Iso attitude, where our stomach is only what we think about. And even when we use our stomach to think about, that's only what we use. We don't even use it to benefit ourselves. Okay, we are hungry. How do we get out of this hunger? How do we get out of this hunger? Not that moment gratification of a porridge that we will eat. Okay, with this porridge that I'm going to eat now, will it be there for me tomorrow, next tomorrow, next year, 10 years time, to my children's children? The answer is no. Because if I eat it now, it's gone. That bag of rice they give to you, that 5,000 naira they give to us, that 10,000 naira they give to you, that car they give to, that thing they promise you, that thing, this and that, this and that, this and this. It's temporal. It will end. As soon as they get into office, it's gone. You've sold your birthright. You cannot go and meet that leader and say, after I voted for you, what he will tell you, after I gave you 5,000 naira, I gave you 10,000 naira, I gave you a bag of rice, I gave you this, I gave you a car, if he gives you a car, how do you maintain the car when you don't even have a job? Can you see how this Isogerian mentality is killing us, Africa, particularly Nigerians? It's killing us. And that is why we are where we are today. That is why we can't speak. We can't be recognized. We are not respected around the world. The Isogerian mentality. Rather than also protect our economy, guarantee this economy security, which in turn is interpreted related to national security. Like I said, no matter how we interpret it, no matter how. Some Ukrainians will die for Ukraine because of what they've seen and experienced. So, for us to get the country working back again, we must, first and foremost, return back to that constitution. Change our mentality to get that revolution that we desire. And when we get a good leader, the good leader has to revisit every deal that has been signed on our behalf. Every loan that has been taken on our behalf. What are the loans for? Was it implemented? How can it be paid back? Should we, Nigeria, be borrowing money? Yes, if we have to borrow, we borrow because there's a need. But if there is no need for it, why do we borrow? And if we borrow, what do they use it for? What is it used for? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves. Thank you for joining me, Blackstone. How are you this wonderful evening?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing too?
Yeah, I'm okay. I believe you've been following what I've been saying. I'm not sure if you've been following the topic. It's economic security is national security. That was a statement by Keir Starmer. He made that statement yesterday. And the thumbnail is Isogerians, this Iso mentality that we have, that we think of only just for now, our stomach. Hunger is everybody gets hungry. But in the process of getting to that point, they would think of the temporal satisfaction, or we think of what will solve this problem from generation to generation to come. I yield the floor to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Necessity. The first question I have is that can a hungry man actually have a very good capacity to think and to think for reforms or to think to change things?
Yes, if it's a question you're asking me, I will say yes, though not easy. I reference Zelensky. There's war in Ukraine. And I believe Zelensky wants the war to come to an end ASAP. And there is a deal on the table for him to sign. I mean, he would have just signed it. But what does he want in return? There's nothing. The problem there is that there is nothing in return for him. So if you are in war, somebody is killing you, you have that. Do you have that capacity to sign anything? If we take that same question and apply it to the war in Ukraine, you will want to sign anything that is brought on your table. Am I correct? Are you
Yeah,
there, Blackstone?
yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
You're correct.
Okay. So why did Zelensky not sign the deal? Because war brings hunger. War brings hunger. Anywhere there is war, there is what? There is hunger. Recently, 2 days ago or yesterday, the Israeli stopped this. There's this blockage on what? On humanitarian food, whatever it is, to what? To the Palestine,
To Gaza, yeah.
to Gaza. That's hunger. And the United Nations saying you don't use that as a weapon. So if we bring Zelensky and Ukraine into the picture where there is war and there is hunger, so all he needs to do is just sign it, and the war is gone. But is that truly the case? That if he sign it, the war is gone. Russia will be happy. Everything will be happy. But what do they have in return? What are they getting in return? He's not thinking of just the present, he's thinking about his own people, some who are scattered around Europe. The man who is hungry may not have that capacity. I use the word may not have that capacity. But on the flip side, are we really hungry? We need to ask ourselves this question. As Nigerian case becomes so bad that we are hungry, that when election comes, we sell our votes for 5,000, 10,000. Are our leaders hungry to the extent that they sign unscrupulous deal in matter of our natural resources? Are they hungry? Let's first of all put the citizens aside first before I come to the citizens. Are our leaders hungry?
Yeah,
I'm returning the question back to you.
yeah. Our leaders are not actually, they are not hungry, but
Thank
it's
you.
greed. Is the is the is the highest level of greed, right? I do sometimes tell people that no matter how much you accumulate wealth, definitely one day you will die, and it is a maximum of 6 feet that we go.
All of us will go.
Even if you are rich, 6 feet. If you are poor, 6 feet. So the issue with African leaders, or maybe say Nigerian leaders, it is just greed, nothing more. Just that attitude of accumulating. It is good to be rich, but get rich with your own hard work, with your own wisdom, brain, or your gift that God has given to you, not by taking from Peter, taking from Paul, taking from James, and then use it for your own self and your family. The national wealth is the people's wealth. It does not belong to any individual. But in Africa, they have cornered it to be individual wealth. You understand me? So this is the problem of African people. That's why they also go about signing deals agreement with countries that even reading through what they are signing, just because they have been promised one thing or the other. Sign out your land, sign out your resources, sign out your freedom of the people. And at the end of the day, you say you are a leader. So my stake is this: we don't have leaders in Africa. We don't have leaders who can stand and defend the integrity of their people. That is what is lacking. You understand me? If going back to Zelensky, if he can stand up, speak the way he did in Washington, trying to defend his own country, even in time of war, is asking for favor, for help, and so on and so forth. But he's still putting his own people first, his nation first, not selling it out cheaply to anybody. That is a sign of a true leader. That's the that's a good attitude or a good characteristic of a leader that can stand firm and say, I will defend my people, come what may. He could have said, just give me the pen and sign and go away. But he has to ask questions. He has to look at the deal. He has to argue with with another country's president who is saying we want to give you peace. We want to make a deal with your oppressor, with your opponent, and so on and so forth, for you to have peace, for the war to come to an end, right? But he says, "What is the? Are you give us a guarantee?" And nobody can give that guarantee that that peace will be a lasting peace. To be so, but he still have to stand upon his own principle of defending his nation, defending his people, and speaking out for his people, no matter the the sugar coated deal and so on and so forth that's being placed before him. So that is a sign of a good leader, a leader that cares for his country. Comparing that to Africa or to Nigeria, it is the opposite. If a president can easily give out a, a part of his own country land, which is full of natural resources, oil and everything, just cheaply like that, then they can give out. In fact, I can tell you, if Donald Trump come tomorrow and say, let's make Nigeria the 90th state of America,
Tinubu will sign it off.
gladly, he's not even thinking twice. So that's how bad it is. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What a policeman yes told an African, a Nigerian guy. He said, if Nigeria and Germany exchange country, you move all Nigerians to Germany and move
Germany,
all Germans to Nigeria. He said he give them 10 years, Nigerians will destroy Germany as it is and start coming back to Nigeria seeking for political asylum. That's how
That is
bad
that's a
they see
sad
us.
truth. It's called
Yeah.
sad truth. But you see, we can change this. This is the position I always believe. While we highlight the problem, I also believe that the solution also rests in our hands. And you've said some profound statement. It doesn't matter rich or poor, high, low. We all will end up 6 feet, whatever your achievement is, whether you achieve the whole world and the other person did not achieve the world. But at the end of the day, when you are in a position of leadership, okay, you have to have the best interests of the people at heart. Now, that is leaders. Let's come to the citizens. Are the citizens that hungry? Are we? I mean, I'm not denying that there's no hunger in the land, but is the hunger so bad that when it comes to time of election, we sell our vote out? Is it so bad that we can't hold our leaders accountable? Like you know me, Section 68, 69, and 110 of the Constitution, that citizens we are we can invoke at any time. We don't have to wait for that 4 year cycle. We can invoke it the first year, the second year, the third year. We can invoke it at any time. Why is it so difficult for us to take this bold step and start to fix this thing, change our mentality, return back to the Constitution? Why is it that difficult?
I will put it in this way. You know, Nigerians have the attitude of "I don't care," right? So, in the sense that let's go back to all the elections we have had in Nigeria. The last election, maybe they might say because of the technology, the beavers, and so on and so forth. That is why they have low numbers of turnout, right? But if you have 90 million people registered and 38 million people voted, is that a pass mark? That's to tell you that how we don't care about our nation. That is also the same reason that people can set their vote. I don't care. Just give me the money. I'm satisfied. I give my vote and go home. Whatever happens in the next 4 years, it doesn't matter. But I've taken my share. I think what belongs to me and things like that. So it is the attitude of our people. I say one thing that this is how I try to put the scenario or the explanation. I said a love for a country is like a love between husband and wife, right? In the sense that if the citizens do not love their country, there's no how they can fight and make changes and make reasonable changes for, for that country. That is why you see Nigeria today, they give testimony in the church. I got a visa to go to UK. I got this and those. You see that everybody eye is everywhere. Even to buy common goods, they prefer to foreign goods. You understand me? So that mentality that everything about my country is not good. That's also trickled down to the issue of politics. My leaders, we know our leaders are not good, and we know they are not good, but we still take money from them and vote them in. You understand me? So every country that you want to see development, the citizens must love that nation. You understand me? Like, let's go back to Ukraine. When they started this war, most of the young men were volunteering to join the army because we want to fight the enemy. They who's the enemy? You want to fight. I can tell you, my brother, that if it is Nigeria, in fact, Cameroon, Niger, all the countries will become Nigeria. So that's where that when there's no loyalty, there cannot be dedication to a nation. We might say our leaders are bad. They come from within us. They didn't fall from heaven. They grow within the country. And those that even traveled abroad to study abroad, they see the good things, but they come back with the bad things and put the bad things into work. This is the Nigerian mentality, the Nigerian ideology of things. So it's not because of hunger people study their vote. It isn't. Because the 5,000, 10,000, maybe you give it to them. The next minute they go to beer parlor and drink. They quash
In
the
fact,
money.
5,000 naira is nothing
Of
today.
course. So it's not because of hunger. That's not because of hunger. So it's because of this. So just our mentality, our ideology, how we think, how we reason things, because of I don't care attitude. So until we
How
begin
do
to
we,
care,
in your opinion, how do we change this I don't care attitude?
it is if we have to try to okay, let me put it like this. It has to start from the family line, from the home. For one, the schools, right? The religious organizations, the so-called NGOs, as on and so forth, and the government. So I say that if the family value is eroded, the country dies. That is it. Because that family, let me tell you something. Every tribe in Nigeria has a good culture. And that culture is that the culture that comes within the family that they know how to bring up their children in a responsible way. Because of the culture of money, money now is the thing that we need. Money now is the
Is it driving force
ultimate
for
in
everything?
everything now. That is why
Is
we
it
have lost
driving
that.
force for
Yeah.
everything?
So
No
that's why we have
sacrifice,
lost
no
that.
commitment,
No
no
commitment.
nothing.
How you get it doesn't matter. So we have to start back right from the. If, for example, I was talking to a friend, I said, Nigeria, Nigeria, according to Nigerian Constitution, Nigerian law, primary education should be supposed to be free, right? But is
I
it
think I
free?
think I think primary education is free, except in the private school.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But it's
No,
not up to par.
right. So in that case, if that means that every child is supposed to be in school,
In
every
school.
child, right? So if a child, if you know that a child is not in school, why don't you call that family and question that family why your child is not in school today and give a reason for it?
But the school, if you, why is the child not in school? Another question will be the teachers that are in school. Some of them also are not in school. They are busy selling things.
So you can
So
see that it is a chain. You understand? It is a chain. So that chain
uh,
has to be cut somewhere. That chain has to be cut along the
some
line.
of the
So that
teachers have not been paid salary for months,
yeah. So
and there's
that is it.
allocation for it.
Allocate.
Someone has
Yes.
taken that allocation. I heard recently that even embassy staffs in Europe, some embassy staff that have not been paid salary.
Yeah.
Nigerian embassies and high
That's it.
commission, they've not paid their staff salary for months.
Yeah. So that is it. So at the end, that when we cannot meet that punishment for the evildoers, you understand me? Then how can we then be able to fight against the
The
perpetrators of
external
evils?
the external forces.
Yes. So I know, but look at it like this. You see a Nigerian guy or a lady who has nothing, maybe his income cannot afford him a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in a very high class area. But that is where he would love to go and say, "Oh, I have a house. I live in Lekki." Right? At the end of the day, you are paying 5 million for 3 bedroom flat, whereby your salary in a year
So
is
salary,
less than 1 million in a year. Right? So what do you do then to call to be able
to
to
get
cover
to
the
get the
difference,
balance money
the balance
to
money? So
meet
this
up.
is where yes, this is also an attitude in Nigeria that we want to live a life that we are not, that is not actually, we are not of that level. You understand me? So you want to be able to live a life that people will begin to say, that guy's a big guy, that guy's a big girl. You understand me? So this are all the some of the little
Call it
intricacies
fake
that actually,
lifestyle. Fake
yes, but
lifestyle.
but that everybody are even the fake lifestyle, the people in the street are praising them.
Of course.
I asked some of my friends, I said, even the men you are talking about, how did they get their money? Most of them doesn't pay tax. Most of them can't tell you how they make their money, and so on and so forth. So why must they have respect for such people? So this is the mentality. It's a big mentality issue. So the big
So
question that I don't know how we can change that, though I think we have to start from somewhere.
yeah, we have to start from somewhere. In my the position I have taken that I believe we can start from is what I've always highlighted, what I've taken to every platform and any platform I go to, which is down to us, the citizens, because these leaders that we have at the moment, I don't see anything good that will ever come out of them. It's us, the citizens, when we
Yeah.
start to, when we return back to the Constitution and the aspect of the Constitution that I have been talking about, and I will keep standing on until they change it, then I will stop talking about it because they will change it if they know what something is. It is section 68, 69, and 110 of the 1999 Constitution with Amendment 2011, where the citizens have power towards to recall our anyone that is not performing. If we can successfully do one, two, three, and like I said to us, we will start to see a change in that country. But until such a time, we can pray all we want to pray. We can fast all we want to fast. We can speak all the grammar we want to speak.
Did you know why I'm laughing?
Go
Eh?
ahead, sir. I don't
If
know,
it,
sir.
if we can't follow that route, you can also follow a route of violence. I don't tell someone. Sometimes when I talk to some friends, I said, listen to me. All of us know if we know the business interests, the houses of these politicians, you understand me? I said, if you are able to at least set fire on two or three or four of them, four legislators or four senators and everything, they will sit up. It was not that the people are not ready. Or
Uh,
their business interest.
I
Their business
think
interest and do it. So
I,
sometimes,
I
oh,
think
excuse me.
to go that path of violence is an extreme. I personally will caution against that because I don't think if they start to recall them back. I mean, what I think is if we start to recall them back and we stand our position, the citizens, as Zelensky stood his ground, we stood our ground. As Zelensky stood his ground, I believe we will start to see because if you are representing my constituency and our constituency came together and said, we don't want Blackstone to represent us again for this reason, for this reason, for this reason. Blackstone cannot be imposed on us. It cannot be imposed on. So if we stand our ground, I beg your pardon, to say we don't want you or we don't want Andrew to represent us again. He's not representing us well. He doesn't have our interests in our heart. His behavior is bad, or like somebody would describe me, whatever, this bad, this, and there's evidence to support that. I will be removed. Now, I have the right to recontest again, which obviously you guys are not going to vote for me again. So if it happens once, two, three, then we will see this thing working. That is a position I take. Going
Yeah, because
violent is not a route I will recommend. I
yeah,
mean, some people may say it's good,
yeah,
it may work, it
it might be
may
the last
work.
resort. It might be the last resort. You understand me? What you are saying is this, right? Looking at Nigeria, at the things that have happened in Nigeria, you understand me? Nothing work according to the law in Nigeria. Even the judges, the Supreme Court, they turn Abuja what do we have? They turn Abuja as a state simply because we want to make sure somebody is there, somebody that's able to pay them is there. So that's how bad that we can take our constitution and tear it apart and say this is what it is. But what is in the law does not matter to them. So that's where the problem lies. Until our judiciary wake up and stand by the law, that the law is not a respecter of any person. Don't care who you
So
are.
are
Person
we
you
are
get
we
on
putting the
everything.
blame? Are we putting the blame on the judiciary?
No, what I'm
Because
trying to say, no, what I'm trying to say, because those guys, they will go to court. If you do the call, they will go to court. And court will interpret it according to to the highest bidder.
okay,
That's what it
I
is.
I I understand that, but I'm saying for us to get to that point, let's start somewhere first. Okay, we don't have much say. The citizens, I mean, I may be wrong. The citizens do not have much say when it comes to what to the judiciary.
Yeah.
The citizens do not have much say when it comes to the executive arm of the. We
Yeah.
have the executive, we have the judiciary, we have the legislative arm.
Administrators,
The
yeah.
citizens don't have much say. Now, the legislative arm are the one that perform oversight on the executive majorly. Okay, but the citizens have say in respect to what to the legislative arm, and that is where what I am focusing on. Because why? Whether we come today and say, oh, we did not elect them or we elected them, no, they are there claiming to be representing your constituency, my constituency. And for the fact that they are making that claim, they are representing your constituency and my constituency, then we have a say. Whether we voted them in or not, because the law, the constitution have not changed in the matter of what? In the matter of if citizens, if your constituency are displeased of your representation, they can remove you at any stage of that cycle, that 4 year cycle that you're meant to be voted. You can take you out in the first. If anything comes up and it's there and they signify it's true, they take you out. We've not availed of ourselves on that section of the Constitution. And why
Yeah.
that I don't know, to be honest. And that is what I have stood on and still standing on over the years. With the
Yeah.
hope that
For that to start working, right, we need to have a lot of yeah, we need to have to work with the interest group, what they call it, the NGOs or things like that, the political
Blackstone,
affiliated
sorry for
parties.
interjecting you.
No,
We have
no, no,
so
no,
many interest groups and
no, no, no,
NGOs.
no. No, this is where I'm going to, right? These are the people are not to make the people understand that area of the constitution. Not that they're not going to do it. No, that to make the citizen to realize that this is their right. I can tell you, like we know that most people are not don't even know the constitution, don't even read the constitution because it not is for most people it's not interesting, it's not interesting to them. You understand me? So it is the is the campaign or the understanding trying to make the bring up the awareness to
Awareness.
the people, right? To the people, and this can be done through these other agencies, whereby for example, people belong to many agencies, to different agencies, and so forth. When these things are being talk about in those agencies, and so on and so forth, can be able not also to actually make it a friend to friend discussion or a beer parlor discussion. People can sit down they just out of don't you know we have this one in the constitution? This part are misbehaving. This our legislation is misbehaving. It's not doing anything. But you have a right to so on and so forth. So you don't have that awareness. We don't have that awareness. There's nothing we can do about it. You
Okay.
understand me?
So
So
your position is that that awareness is not
yes,
there. Well, let me agree with you. I don't know if this that awareness is not there, uh, but it's a point taken on board. And well, we're creating awareness, so let's say we will create the awareness, and then we'll see how we go. Again, I would like to thank you for joining me in such a notice. Thank you very much for joining me. Uh, Tomorrow, I will be here in the matter of uh, Natasha Uduaga, a position that she took that a lot have criticized. It's a shame when I saw the interview she did in is there Rise News with Rufai and Ayo, the way they didn't give her much time to speak. She's been Right now, people are seeing her as the one in the wrong, which is a shame, to be honest. Because personally, I understand where she's coming from, and I would deal with that. Even I heard some women in Cross River or you or whatever it is gathering together, uh, campaigning, protecting Akpabio. This is the same Isogerian mentality that we have. We are not looking things outside the box. What has Akpabio done for the society?
Electricity. Electricity. As God, as people believe in God, so some people also people believe in Satan. So every good and bad, everybody has a fan.
uh,
So that those are
the,
some fans, you
we
know.
are, we are, we are forgetting, we forget. You see, this issue of sexual harassment, intimidation, bullying, particularly in relation to women in Nigeria, in both the private and public sector, is right. Some men who are condemning her today have perpetuated the same thing. It's there, it happens every day, and it's not addressed. Am I saying Natasha is a saint? No, that's not what I'm saying. But we have to look at it things in its context. We have to look at the merit of it, and we have to judge it based on everything. Tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm here, I will let you know, and we will talk about this Natasha thing. I don't like to go beyond 1 hour, but I've gone above 1 hour. So the first 7 minutes I was talking, I forgot that I'm still muted. So I'll try to edit that pattern, but if it can't be edited, I will leave it as it is. Flaxon, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. It's a pleasure. All right. Have a lovely evening.
Nice to be with you too. Okay, you too. Bye.